Hey everybody. So here we have this laptop here that I just did a install Windows 11 on. It's a clean install. Well, technically it's not. I actually did an in-place upgrade for Windows 10, but the Windows 10 install was a clean install, so theoretically we have a clean install Windows 11. And in this video we'll talk about 6 different ways that you can improve Windows 11 to make it easier to use. Now these are just 6 different methods. There's actually more stuff you can do, but we're going to focus on 6 big things in this video. So, first and foremost, Windows 11 has this new start menu that's in the center and on the left. You can have it put on the left if you wish, but the new Windows 11 start menu continues to have some sort of emphasis on how, let's say, a phone's start screen is, or the home screen. Like you have your pinned applications, and then you go here to all apps, and that would be the equivalent of an app drawer. So a lot of people, I think, would still prefer the Windows 7 style start menu where it automatically populates certain things for you, and things like that. Another thing with Windows 11 is the fact that you don't really have much anything here when you right click. You just have taskbar settings, and after a hotfix installed you'll have a shortcut for Task Manager, but you don't have the ability to move the taskbar to the right or to the top or to the left. That's something that I think many people would like to be able to do. So we're going to focus on a way to do that in this video. Also, the File Explorer, for example, when you right click on stuff, you get this dumbed down menu to where a lot of options like copy and paste are just replaced with icons instead of, copy, paste, so on and so forth. And the Explorer itself, you can see, for example, everything is all spaced out. So to fix that, all we gotta do is go in here to View and choose Compact View, and this will squash everything down to be like Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 7, Windows Vista, and OS's before that. So makes things a little more easier to use since more stuff fits on the screen. But I'm going to actually go grab a installer for a utility called Start All Back. Now, Start All Back does cost like $5. It's a shareware application. You can try it for 100 days before you have to buy it. And actually, I had a video I posted pretty recently talking about start menu options. The reason why I'm going to talk about Start All Back in this video is because overall it offers the most customization, and it brings back more features than, let's say, just OpenShell. So let's go ahead and run Start All Back. And this is an older version, so it's going to say this version of Start All Back is not intended for this Windows version. But don't fear, it'll work just fine. I'm going to turn UAC off just for this video. In only a few seconds it takes to actually install. So you can see how it's moved everything to the left, lower left corner. And you have several different options, and that's stuff I do feature in the other video. So feel free to watch that video if you want to go into full detail what this offers. So we're going to choose Proper 11, which is already selected. And you right click on the taskbar. Well, look at there, you get options, not just taskbar settings. And if you look here, you can unlock the taskbar and you can move it to the right, you can move it to the left, you can stick it up top, which is pretty nice. So also, File Explorer gets improvements from this as well. For example, if I go back into the folder I was in, let's say if I right click on something, isn't that nicer? Instead of having the little icons and having to hit show more options, it automatically shows all options. So that's a huge improvement. So if you look here, we have a Windows 7 style start menu. So if you're used to using Windows 7, this will look very familiar to you. And what's also nice is it moves all the Universal Windows Platform apps into their own folder. So there's a lot of things that and of course in Windows 11, the more of the built-in utilities are Universal Platform app utilities. Of course, you have your user folder, documents, pictures, music, downloads, recent items, this PC, control panel, settings, and run. But let's say if you are used to Windows 7 and you prefer that of course, this PC be read as computer. Well, all you gotta do is just rename it to computer, and bingo. It might actually take a reboot for that to update, but it will actually update. Go up here to Start Menu. You can actually customize the Start Menu by adding more things. So we can change that display as a link, like for example videos. We can put network on there if we wish. So anyways, that being said, I'm going to head to Explorer. You also have options there. But anyways, we're not going to go too heavy on that. This is what you get with Start All Back. And again, this utility costs, I think it's $4.99. But you can actually get a 3 PC license for I think $12 or something like that. So you get a little bit of a discount, like $1 off for 3 computers per computer. On a side note, one thing I like to do with Windows 11, this is just a personal preference, is I like to go in and change the color to dark mode. So we go to personalization, colors, and we change it to dark mode. Again, that's just a personal thing. I much prefer white text on black background than black text on white background. So now we're going to move on to the second thing. So if you are someone who likes to work with photos and videos, you'll probably like this one. So Windows 7 had this very convenient import pictures and videos wizard, and ever since Windows 8 it seems that they kind of bury it, where it's not really, like for example, if you pop in a camera, it's like the option to import photos and videos, at least the way you do it in Windows 7, it's just not really there. So there is a way to fix that, and we're going to go and work on that next. Go into my utilities here. This is actually my Windows 10 folder. So we have this import photos and videos wizard. I'm going to go ahead and copy that over to the desktop, and all it does, for example, if you have an SD card or whatever inserted, you would be able to see it here, and you would select import, and you would get greeted with the very familiar Windows 7 style import pictures and videos wizard. So that's very nice to have, and all it really is, go into properties and look, it's just a shortcut that you have to create. Pretty easy to do, and what I'll do is I will copy this and I will stick it in a notepad. That way I can include it here in this video. So there's the entire shortcut right there. So what you would do is on your desktop, you would just right click and choose new shortcut, and you would paste that information into here and click next to continue and create your shortcut. Now the icon, I think I had to manually choose the icon, and the way I did that was change icon, and you could actually select the icon, and I'll go ahead and put that below as well. That way, in case it does not set the icon for you, you can manually set it yourself. It's been so long since I've created that shortcut. Once you create it, you can just save it wherever, and anytime you do a Windows 10 or Windows 11 install, just copy and paste it to the desktop and you're done. So there's that. But also, one thing I've always liked about Windows 7 is its easy and simple photo viewer. And of course, Windows 10 and Windows 11, they all have the Photos app. Just come down here and look for it. Which, not saying Photos is bad, but they just want you to sign in with a Microsoft account just to use the Photos app. And it does have an import function right here, so from a USB device or from a folder. So you do have import options if you prefer to go the new route with the Photos app. But me personally, I like the good old Windows Photo Viewer. And here's how you can get it back. So this is actually a registry fix, and it's from AskVG.com. I'll have to put a link in the description for that. So you just run the registry fix, and this will reinstall the Windows Photo Viewer app. So for example, see if I can find a photo to look at. So we're going to just choose this random picture right here. First thing you got to do is change the default program. And you can see now we have Windows Photo Viewer as an option. Select OK, hit OK. And once it opens up, bingo, there is the classic Windows Photo Viewer app from Windows 7. For this, you don't have to download any files, you're just applying a registry fix, that's it. So it's still baked into Windows, even Windows 11, it's just kind of turned off by default. So now you can import photos and videos the classic way, and you can also view them the classic way. With a special no frills photo viewer and import wizard. None of the bloat with photos or begging, or none of the bags to create a Microsoft account. So the next one's going to be about the built-in calculator. See, it's right there actually. A lot of times when you open a calculator, it opens super big, and I'm just, like this one here. Look how big this is. It takes up almost the entire screen, and then you gotta freaking move it down to size. For example, with this one, that's as small as it goes. Pretty big. So the 107 calculator was so much more simple to use. It was compact. It didn't take up a bunch of space on your screen. It simply did the job just fine. So we're going to retrieve the installer for that, and I'll have to put a link in the description for you to download that. So this is the installer for the old classic calculator. They had to update it when Windows 11 came out because, well, the Windows 10 installer, it wouldn't install properly. But if you had Windows 10 and you upgraded from Windows 10 to Windows 11 and you had already installed the classic calculator, then yours okay. So we'll let this install, and I'll just uncheck that for now. It even puts a shortcut on your desktop for you. So with the existing calculator up, I'm going to launch the Windows 7 calculator, and just look. I just so much prefer this right here. This calculator right here. It doesn't take up so much space on the screen. Yeah, I much prefer this right here. Like for example, if you want to open up more of them, which I'll go ahead and pin that to start menu. Let's see if it pins to this start menu. Yep, there it is. So you can put multiple ones side by side if you're trying to figure out a few things at the same time. So yeah, I've always preferred the Windows 7 style calculator, hands down, much better. Another one is the Windows 11 Paint. I'm just not a fan of it. It's like they tried to make Paint. They took the Windows 7 Paint that was also included in Windows 8 and Windows 10 and try to make it into a pretty interface with all these giant buttons and this, like for example, if I'm going to, for example, put some text here. You got all this. The thing is, it takes up so much space on the screen. And matter of fact, one time when I was trying to throw together a thumbnail for one of my videos, and I was going to find a certain font, well, it crashed and I lost everything I did. So you can see, I just can't stand this. Let's get out of that. So we'll go back into my utilities here. And here's Classic Paint, which I'll put a link in for the description. We can download it. This will restore the paint that was from Windows 10. So first we got to open Settings. In the Settings app, we have to choose App Execution and Aliases. And we got to look for MS Paint right here. And also PBrush. Turn those off. Now we'll click Next on this installer. And let this install. Uncheck this, uncheck that, uncheck that, and yes, we'll run it. So you can see there's the familiar paint that originated from Windows 7. I love it a lot. I use it for a lot of stuff. And I mean, we'll put them side by side, for example. And yes, you still can run the Windows 11 paint along with this. For example, wrong thing. This mouse is a piece of garbage. I do like the new snap functionality that's in Windows 11. So you can see, just look at these two side by side. Hands down, the classic paint from Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, so much better. This here is just garbage. So yeah, classic paint for the win. There you have it for paint. Okay, so now go ahead and install the Windows 7 Games pack. Okay, so we'll run through this installer here. I'm going to leave the internet games unchecked just for this. You could install them if you wish. And we'll finish the setup. And if we look, there's our classic games. Now I should mention, so a lot of these packages, like the classic paint, the classic games, the old calculator, they all came from winarrow.com. So the link I'll provide in the description will cover those installers and also some other stuff, including classic sticky notes, classic task manager, among other things. So there's definitely a lot of options there. So there could be more than 6 ways to make Windows 11 easier to use. But now we're going to focus on the last one for this video, which is Windows Update. And of course, Windows Update and Windows 10, Windows 11, not a super big fan of. Now, since we're dealing with Windows 11 Home, we're not going to be able to apply a group policy edit to set Windows Update to notify to download and install updates. Now, yes, there actually is. I can say this. There is a way you can re-enable the group policy on home versions of Windows, but we're not going to go that deep in this video. Now the thing is, I do have a registry fix that I usually use when I deploy this fix on Windows 10 and Windows 11 Pro systems. However, on Windows 11 Home and Windows 10 Home computers, it seems to ignore it. So there are still some ways though you can make Windows Update act a little more friendly. So we'll go down here to Windows Update. So we go into Advanced Options. First thing I like to do is change the active hours. Now, in Windows 11, they automatically adjust. In Windows 10, you can also set it to automatic as well. But what's so funny is how they set the default active hours from 8 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Last time I checked, I wasn't using my computer at the local bank. I wasn't clocking in at 8 o'clock and leaving at 5 o'clock. So we're going to set this to, let's say, 8 o'clock a.m. to, well, you can do it manually or automatic. Let's say if you want to do it manually, I do this on Windows 10 all the time. You can set it up to, like for example, from 8 o'clock a.m. to 2 o'clock a.m. because I'm always a night owl. Or you can set it to automatic, so it will automatically adjust based on how you use your system. So that way it won't restart your device during active hours. But really, I do like on Windows 10 and Windows 11 Home how you can just set the group policy to notify you to download updates. It doesn't automatically download updates. And I do have a video I can link up in the upper right corner where I apply this to Windows 10. So that being said, that is 6 ways you can make Windows 11 easier to use and more familiar. So again, we covered the Start menu, the File Explorer, working with photos and videos, making them easier to import and view, the Classic Calculator, the Classic Paint, Classic Windows 7 games, and also focusing on some stuff regarding Windows Update. So if let's say for example you bought a computer that came with Windows 11 pre-installed, that will make the OS a little easier to use. Now technically, if you really wanted to, I think you could probably downgrade to Windows 10. You could actually download the Windows 10 installer and do a clean installation on a computer. Keep in mind, you would lose your stuff. You'd have to back everything up. And also Windows 10 and support is going to be much earlier than Windows 11. As of right now, Windows 10 has roughly 2 years of support left. So keep that in mind. But yes, Windows 11, when you do some mods to it, it does make it easier to use. And I should mention this computer that we're running it on. It is a Gateway laptop from 2012, which definitely does not meet the Microsoft Elite Class minimum system requirements for Windows 11. So when I install Windows 11 on this, I ended up using Rufus to set up the USB installer. So that way it bypasses the CPU and TPM checks. Now, I do actually have a video up on the channel talking about whether I recommend doing that or not. It depends on your situation and what you're doing. So, anyways, that wraps up for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Well, everybody, that wraps up for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to Computer channel, and be sure to tick the bell. That way you get notified of new video posts. Also, I recommend following Computer Company on Facebook. A link is in the video description. In addition to computer tech videos, I have a second channel, CubeCompMTDX. Links are available at the end of this video. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching and your support.